The panel was announced by Nitish Kumar in 2013. The report was submitted, but the entire process was in cold storage. So what was the analysis of the Savan Ayog? Just let me put it on table. 46% of Bihar's upper caste are farmers, but they are being compelled to sell their land. 55% Savans owe less than 1 acre of land. 36% of Bihar's upper caste are below poverty line. 9.67% of Savan youth are jobless in rural areas. 10.7% Savan youths are jobless in Bihar cities. 90% youth in rural areas don't have a graduation degree. 49% upper caste children drop out of school in rural areas, and 65.6% forced to move out of Bihar to look for job. And then came the recommendation of the Savan panel. Those earning less than 1.5 lakh annually to be considered poor. Upper caste poor must get welfare benefits. Students from class 1 to 10 must get scholarships. Now let me straight away go to KV Prasad and Ajit Githa. Ajit, tell me, is it really relevant for an already well-positioned, well-oiled JDU and BJP in Bihar, or is it because of the fact that there are some numbers, and let me quote these numbers, is it because of the fact that in previous elections, the upper caste numbers for this alliance went down?
You know, certainly, Karthike, elections in October is one reason why this entire commission has been reconstituted. But let me point out, I did speak to two members who were members of this Savarn Commission. By the way, this Savarn Commission was initially called the Uch Jatiya Ke Liye Raj Ayog, and then right after that, it was renamed as Bihar State Upper Caste Commission. I spoke to Narendra Kumar Singh, who is a JDU member, and he was in this Ayog from 2011 to 2017. And he, quite a number of the figures that you have shown to our viewers, he pointed out, but he also pointed out that 500 crores were allocated. Because the report pointed out, the report was the Adri report, and he said 500 crores were allocated for scholarships, for books, for students, uniform and things of that sort. And he said, and then I asked him the question, I said, in that case, if it was, why do we need to reconstitute the commission today? Because obviously, as you pointed out, it was defunct. And he said, look, I am not part of the new commission, but I can tell you one of the main reason is that the issue of 10% reservation for upper caste of both Hindus and Muslims is going to be under consideration. So the purpose of the new commission, which is being reconstituted, is precisely to find out what happened, the fact that 500 crores did it reach the upper caste poor. Then secondly, the chief secretary of Bihar was given the let's say, he was supposed to continue the programs. So have the subsequent successive chief secretaries done that? And third, whether this reservation is going to help the poor among the upper caste.
So basically, KV, it means that this announcement has a political function to serve.
Yeah, Karthik, of course, as Ajit also put out, we all know October is autumn is when the elections are to be held. Mr. Kumar, except for a brief break, has had 20 years run in Bihar as the chief minister from 2005. And of course, now there are reports about his health and stuff like that around, and there is some churn that's happening in Bihar politics too. We don't know how Jan Swaraj is going to play. We also have seen that Mr. Nitish Kumar in the RJD alliance went in for the caste survey, which again is on the back burner, so to say. And now they're doing a national, the BJP has come up with. So this is politics, 100%. And obviously to try and ensure that the upper caste vote, which has otherwise remained largely with the JDU-BJP combination, retains, and if your figure said they have drifted, so try and get them back. And as Ajit has pointed out, if there is specific task that they're looking at, 10% reservation for the economically poor, which again will be a replication of what is already in the center, which we had just before the last 2019 elections. We had a constitutional amendment. So I think pure politics out there.
Ajay, after the previous Lok Sabha election, one thing is very clear. it's very difficult to judge the mind of the people, you know. It was the high blitz election by Bharatiya Janata Party, and I would say the results were not up to the mark for BJP. But in this, and that's the closing comment I would like from you, do you think BJP is well poised, or are we up for surprises in Bihar?
See, two things. Well, if you're talking of upper castes, I would say BJP is well poised. In fact, I would point out that the main base of the BJP are the upper castes. They have also penetrated to some extent the MBCs and the Dalits, to some extent maybe even the OBCs. JDU, on the other hand, doesn't have a great penetration among upper castes, despite the fact that Nitish is surrounded by several upper caste leaders. Somehow JDU lacks that. JDU is seen as a OBC party, just like the RJD. And therefore, I think Nitish Kumar has been, right from 2011, pushing this.
Now you hit the nail. Now you hit the nail. You know, now you hit the nail. Now you hit the nail. You know, I think, I wouldn't use the word Achilles heel, but I think he's very, very concerned about the fact that this impression has not gone out there. And I think they have enough time.
And just one more point.
Very quickly, 30 seconds.
30 seconds. Each time Nitish Kumar has jumped on the other side with the RJD has questioned the Upper Caste Commission. So therefore it got weakened. Now that he's part of the BJP, he's able to get the Upper Caste Commission.
So he's burnishing the same old credentials again. Thank you both of you gentlemen for joining me, but that was the second on point. Now in the third on point, we will look at India's GDP performance in Q4. Yes. Let's talk about India's GDP performance. Now, India's GDP performance in the fourth quarter. India's economy grew by 6.5% in the financial year 2024-25, marking its slowest growth in 4 years, as per the data released by the National Statistics Office. But for the fourth quarter of the financial year, the Indian economy grew at the better than expected rate of 7.4%. This marked the strongest quarterly growth in the fiscal year of 2025. So let me just straight away go to my guest, Mitali Nikor, founder and chief economist, Nikor Associates. The graphics will play at the side. But, you know, my question to you is very simple so that people can understand it. Is it glass half full or half empty, madam?
Thank you so much, sir, for joining your show. And I think today this is definitely a glass half full. I wouldn't call it a glass half empty by any measure, because while we may see a small deceleration, or even one can say a 3 percentage point deceleration when we compare with the data in FY24 versus FY25, at this point in time, India is the fastest growing economy in the world. And, you know, when you look at the IMFs and the World Banks and all of the international organizations, when you look at the Western countries, everyone can see that India's growth has been resilient in many ways to the global cues that have been going on. We can see the number of warlike situations that are going on across the world at this point in time. We can see the sluggishness in global growth and global demand. And despite that, India continues its own trajectory. And in many ways, it's buoyed by private consumption, the domestic consumption that's happening in the Indian economy. It's buoyed by also, very interestingly, foreign direct investment coming in, the production linked incentive scheme continuing to deliver in many ways for the manufacturing sector. So I really wouldn't call it a glass half empty, but a glass half full.
What are we doing different from other economies? If you're saying that Indian story is far more better and beautiful than the other stories, then what are we doing different from China, Germany, United States of America? Because now the Niti Aayog chairman is saying that we are the fourth biggest economy now.
Absolutely. Today we are the fourth largest economy in the world, and we're well on our way to becoming the third largest economy. Of course, it's only when the second or the first positions, start to come into contention that we need to worry. But we're well on the path to becoming the third largest economy in maybe the next 3 to 5 years. And I think there are 2 or 3 things, we've done differently. The first is, of course, the infrastructure push that has happened in the last decade. I mean, all of this growth wouldn't be possible if our growth had been concentrated in just